Honorable members, I have this communication to make.
Speaker Kenneth Marende was formally bringing President Kibaki's memorandum to the attention of the House. In the memorandum, the President had outlined reasons for declining to assent to the County Government's Bill 2012 that was passed by Parliament last week. The President had pointed out that the bill had purported to usurp the powers of the national government by creating new units of decentralization. Kibaki also argued that the bill had created county equivalents of the National Security Council, yet security was an exclusive function of the national government. The head of state also submitted that the bill had transferred current officers serving in the provincial administration and proposed to make them answerable to the governors in their respective counties of operation. And the Speaker issued directives on how the House would deal with the President's memorandum.
I direct that the memorandum be referred to the Departmental Committee on Local Authorities to study and report to the House within the next 7 days.
That directive immediately triggered reactions from the lawmakers who questioned its constitutional validity.
Is the President's memorandum admissible in this House outside the timeline which has not been extended by this House?
That time went for good. Mr. Speaker, is it procedural that we go the way we are doing without first of all moving and deciding on a motion whether this House can actually do so?
I am satisfied myself, Mr. Speaker, on the perusal of the law that on an appropriate motion brought before the House, this House can enlarge time before the passage of any law or indeed after the passage of any law.
The backbenchers also took on the executive for its alleged lack of seriousness while dealing with legislative matters.
You can imagine such an important bill being passed by 20 members of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we had a few days. So, Mr. Speaker, for government now to come crying here, Mr. Speaker, it's too late. Even the AG, Mr. Speaker, was not around. The Minister for Justice and Constitution was not around.
Apart from absconding duty, which they should have been here, Mr. Speaker, to execute, and which they are paid for, they have purportedly continued to even attempt to mislead this House, as they have misled the President on the constitutionality of the clause we passed, Mr. Speaker.
The regular absence of members of the front bench when legislative matters are being deliberated on also caught the Speaker's attention.
The fora that you choose to express yourselves at, reasonable as you may appear, does not count. We hear you at funerals. We hear you in FM stations. We hear you in all manner of discrete television stations. That is not good enough.
Parliament has the option to consider the President's proposals as contained in his memorandum, amend the bill, and return it to him for assent. However, Parliament can also choose to overrule the President's memorandum if at least 148 members vote to reject it and have the County Government's Bill 2012 passed into law in the exact format it left the House last week. Francis Gachuri, Citizen Live at 9.